Well, hello, and everybody. It's Tyler Ford here, Tucson, Arizona, with eXp Realty, and welcome to Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection. And each and every month, I dive on in and we do a update on Tucson home inventory levels. And I've been saying this for quite some time. I think inventory levels are the leading indicator, and I started tracking home inventory levels over a year ago, just because I started to feel this market was slowly starting to shift. And sure enough, it took a little while to play out, but the market has definitely started to shift. And we have gone from a zona. So things have definitely started to change. But again, each and every month we log into the MLS, and I've been tracking it in an Excel spreadsheet and just showing people what is going on here in terms of inventory levels in Tucson, Arizona. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. First, I like to start out with, let me share my screen here. Just 1 second. It's not letting me share my screen. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen here and just show you a couple things in terms of. I like to start out with interest rates. And if you've got any questions or comments, you can go ahead and comment at the end. I'll answer any questions and do my best to give you the best answer. But first thing I want to start out with is interest rates, and it's the big story. The Feds have been aggressively raising rates to curb inflation and put the brakes on, and hopefully that they don't overcook it and put the economy into a tailspin. But it's definitely having an impact on housing. Things are definitely slowing down. So interest rates on a 30-year fixed right now are just below 7% at 6.94% on a 30-year fixed. And on a 15-year fixed, you're looking at 6.23%, which is up from the beginning of the year, almost doubled. So at the beginning of the year, we were at 3.22%, which is up, I took some notes, which is up 3.72% from the beginning of the year. So rates are definitely having an impact. And, when somebody buys a home, they're typically buying a payment. And also when they're getting a loan, the lender is qualifying them based on what is called the DTI, the debt to income ratio. And as interest rates have gone up, people's debt to income ratio, it's your total debt, which includes the mortgage payment in relationship to your income. And typically the debt to income ratios are anywhere from about 42%, maybe upwards to 50%. And as rates have gone up, it's taking people out of the ability to be able to qualify and afford the payment based on home values. So again, as interest rates have gone up, in order for people to be able to afford real estate, one of two things need to happen. They put more money down so they can qualify and or buy a less expensive home, which is kind of hard in this market because we've seen double digit appreciation rates over the last couple of years, or the market needs to pull back. So that's what's going on with interest rates. And now what I want to do is we're going to log in. I'm going to dive into the MLS, and we're going to look at the inventory levels here in Tucson. So right here, I'm logged in, and single family homes listed in the MLS right there. You can see there's a total of, and I'm going to take some notes, 1,642 active single family homes listed in the MLS. I'm going to click on townhomes. And right now, townhomes, again, that number's right there if you can see it. We've got 147 active townhomes listed in the MLS. If we take a look at mobile homes, there are a total of, actually, I've been tracking manufactured homes. So manufactured homes, there's a total of 103 manufactured homes listed in the MLS. And lastly, if we take a look at condos, there's a total of 134. So now I'm going to open up an Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to plug in the numbers so you can get a good idea as to what's going on. So single family homes, there's 1,642. The next one here, manufactured homes, there are 103 manufactured homes. And the next one, condos, we said there's 134. And then lastly, townhomes, 147. So plugging in the numbers, there's a total right now in Tucson, active listings, and that covers single family homes, manufactured homes, townhomes, condos. There's a total of 1,879, and month over month, we're up 124 active listings in the MLS. And again, month over month, we're up 6.6%. And since I started tracking this back in July of last year, home inventory levels are up 57.53%. So that's huge. It's definitely turning into more of a buyer-friendly market. We've moved from a seller's market, like I said, into a neutral market in terms of just a normal supply and demand in terms of what's available. And if you look, here's a really good visual of what's going on. If you look at a chart, when I started tracking this, inventory levels were starting to go up. I sensed it. And then something to consider, this dip right here is the seasonality of Arizona. As the temperatures cool off and winter visitors come back to our market, there is more demand. And so that little dip right here is as we move into the winter months. So the one thing to just kind of keep an eye on, we'll see what happens as we enter into fall, winter, and spring here in Tucson, whether or not there's enough demand in terms of the winter visitors coming back into our market to hold things up. The next thing I want to look at and show you is we're going to take a look at Zillow. The other thing that I've been tracking is Zillow, because when we pull up the MLS, I put in Tucson, but with Zillow, we get Tucson and the surrounding areas. So if we put in Tucson, Arizona, all properties listed, Tucson and surrounding areas, there's 2,304 active listings. You can see that right here. And then the other, this is for sale by owners. And typically what happens, as we start to change into more of a neutral and or even a buyer's market, there's less for sale by owners out there because it's harder to sell properties. So you end up seeing less for sale by owners. So we'll take a look, we'll plug the numbers in and just take a peek to see what's going on in terms of total active listings, Tucson and the surrounding areas. So 2,004, and then for sale by owners, there's 260. So you can see when I first started doing this, there were double the amount of for sale by owners. So for sale by owners have been cut in half. So again, as this market gets a little bit more challenging in terms of inventory levels moving up, days on market taking longer to sell, people are less likely to want to sell on their own and look to put their property in the MLS. So month to month on Zillow, Tucson surrounding areas, inventory levels are up 5.97%. And since I started tracking this, I didn't do this right out of the gate, but I started tracking it just because I wanted to get the bigger picture. Inventory levels are up 17.67%. The other thing that I've been tracking that is the median home sales price. And if you look at what's gone on here in Tucson, the appreciation that we've seen came within the first 5 to 6 months. And I called the top of this market May, June of 2022. And since then, home values have pulled back slightly and then gone sideways. So in 2021, this is just single family homes. Keep in mind, it's not townhomes, condos, The total appreciation is a little bit higher if you look at townhomes and condos. But this single family homes in 2021, the appreciation rate was 16.88%. And if you look at 2022, homes have appreciated 7.1% this year. And again, that came within the first 5 to 6 months. And in a normal market, homes typically appreciate anywhere from about 4 to 8%. And on a good year, possibly 10 to 12%. So again, you can see after June, we've had a pullback and are now going sideways in terms of the average home sales price. And here's just a little chart of what has happened since I started charting this over a year ago. Let me take it off the screen. Sure, hold on one sec. And so one thing that you can do, and if you want to geek out on the numbers, each and every month I dive into the Tucson Housing Market Report. And the Tucson Association of Realtors, TAR, they do a really, really good job of putting out a report. And if you want to get that report and really dive into the numbers, you can go to Tucson Homes and Lots. And if you scroll down, you'll see the Tucson Monthly Market Report. If you click on that, it's going to take you over to the market report. And then if you scroll down, there's a button right here. And if you click on that, then it's going to take you into the full report. So I would encourage you to dive into that full report if you really want to geek out on the numbers and really have a good idea of what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. So let me see if there's any questions. If you've got any questions or comments, I like to keep it short and sweet and just dive into what's going on. But if you've got any comments, so Franklin said at some point, wow, indeed, in terms of home inventory levels, my guess in terms of moving up more than 50%. Since I started tracking this would be my guess. But if there's any questions or comments out there, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I am going to keep it short and sweet. And each and every month we dive on into these numbers, and this is going to be on YouTube. So although this is a live, if you watch this video after the live, if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and comment in the show notes, and myself or team would love to answer any questions you may have and get back to you. So in the meantime, I'm going to wrap it up. Make it a great day.